Hi there, I'm Darren Howard. This is an introduction to the Municipal Sustainability Project developed by Radio Free Canada in Kelowna, British Columbia.
His belongings piled high. The start of a new journey for you. Your father tells you that he is fed up with the pre-modern poverty and scraping a living off the land. He sold his little farm to a big landowner for a few coins. And all your neighbors, that is, have done the same.
That process of moving from a community form of agriculture, where a whole village participated in the process and defined themselves as almost an agricultural collective, to one in which you have essentially capitalist land holding and individual farms. You can view it either as a land grab by the rich or a process of creating a greater and more efficient system. It was both.
This entire program starts with my studies in food prices. But to sum it up very simply, in Egypt in 2011, mass protests erupted in Tahrir Square directly related to their version of democracy. But one of the main things that they were protesting against were food prices. In Egypt, it went up to $20 a loaf of bread, and that was repeated throughout Europe. There's no reason for this price gouging to occur. And before it gets to $20 a loaf of bread right here locally, we have to start to stand up and do something. So I started to investigate the reasons and solutions for the grocery prices tripling in the past 4 years in my hometown. Quite simply, one of the main reasons for the artificial increase in grocery prices is the price of fuel. We see the gas prices go up all the time. But after Hurricane Katrina, the oil industry was brought before Congress and was asked why they were raising the fuel prices when it was only a small select area of the USA that was affected by the storm. The answer was simple. The oil industry does not set its prices in response to the market. The oil industry sets its prices as high as the market will bear. This logic has destroyed the income of farmers dependent on the oil industry for fertilizers and for transportation, and has raised the cost of food disproportionately to the cost of production. So the local food prices have doubled and tripled in some cases, primarily due to the profit motive and greed motive of the oil companies and the grocery store franchise system. This process has been wholly ignored by the mass media since grocery chains monopolize the advertising of food and won't stand for investigation into the price gouging that creates poverty right here in my hometown. The result is simple. 1 in 5 Canadian children are now facing food insecurity. The United Nations has announced that 1 in 5 children go hungry in Canada, and this is due to the oil industry and food franchise partnership that's going on. While the government has billions for weapons we don't need, they ignore the children and seniors that go hungry every day. This all starts with what's called aquaponics. Aquaponics is where 1 million pounds of food can be grown on 5 acres of land. What you're seeing right now is a man that stunned the world when he grew 1 million pounds of food on 5 acres. His innovation was studied by major universities and governments around the world, where similar projects are being developed. Aquaponics is very simple. First, you have to feed fish that grow in a high-density environment. And tilapia is the fish of choice since you can fit a whole lot of them in a very small space and they thrive and live quite well. You then use the water from the fish to nourish 3 levels of plants above the fish. Then you take the waste from both the fish and the food you're producing, and this creates biofuel. The plants grow higher and faster than traditional farming methods using oil-based fertilizer systems. And within a year, the biofuel can run bright hydroponic lighting systems without using oil-based power. This whole system almost eliminates the need for oil in food production. One of the most important parts of this process is the fuel that's created for heating and lighting. All winter, in climates just like ours, aquaponics is heating plants for year-round growing cycles and giving farmers the ability to reduce their work while increasing their profit. You can see that everyone in the community will profit from just growing food without oil. But the most important advent to this program is the job creation that takes place. Instantly, there are jobs, higher paying jobs, and those jobs pour money directly back into society. This uses our existing infrastructure, and that's really important. Here in Kelowna, BC, we have exactly what's needed for developing a very thriving aquaponics system. We have high local unemployment amongst our youths, a high vacancy rate in industrial areas, a very well-maintained transportation and busing infrastructure, and an easily replaceable poverty franchise food distribution system. So Kelowna is an ideal place to start this program. Biofuel is the end point here, but it is going to be just one of the stepping stones that gets us off of the poverty train. We're going to use waste material from the fish that are growing and the plants that we grow and expand our waste processing systems to include waste from the rest of the city. And when we build a large enough biofuel plant just using our garbage, we can start phasing out the artificially expensive power companies like Fortis. So let's take a look at manufacturing. Right now, this municipality is full of vacant commercial suites and vacant manufacturing areas simply because City Hall allows building permits for new units while old units remain empty. But if we take a look back when Western Star was building trucks in town, and they were manufacturing and employing a lot of local people, we saw that $20 million worth of business was created locally every year. So I decided to explore the possibility of developing a manufacturing base to expand the aquaponics systems and to sell them worldwide. By creating a management system that analyzes and perfects the modular production of aquaponics systems, we can provide municipalities through the world with easily affordable ways to phase out poverty-creating food production systems. With the incredibly high number of educated people looking for work locally, we have a large knowledge base that can build this system for decades to come and ensure long-term monetary systems for our local residents. Quite simply, we're going to create jobs by ending poverty in other municipalities. But the most exciting part of the program is what happens once we get going. We will attract a great number of investors and innovators that are interested in this system as a whole, and that will multiply our local knowledge base, create long-term plans for the city, and this will create a long-term project that will create generations of work instead of just short-term work within the real estate or within the retail industry. In conclusion, we see that there are countless people looking for work, both young and old, and the local City Hall is not interested in developing a strategy to phase out poverty, so that's why we're appealing to you. It's apparent that any level of government is not interested in long-term sustainability on a monetary level. So right now, we need to do it ourselves, and you can get involved. Here's the plan. What we need is real estate investors to house our offices to produce information and management systems to help phase out poverty and create a future. We need people to help pay for this by buying advertising or to invest directly into the cash that pays for staff to set up, analyze, and innovate in our area. We need farmers that want to triple their income using less of the environment to help the seniors and children who need it the most. And above all, we need you to start talking about it. The Municipal Sustainability Program is important, and because information is always the most important thing in any educated community, we need you to spread the information out. So please sign up, follow the links provided, and start planning on phasing out poverty. The whole planet will benefit. We could save the world, but above all, we can just create some jobs locally because we're creating the food and keeping the profit in the community. Please contact me. I'm Darren Howard. For more details, you can contact me at darrensdesk@hotmail.com. You can also make an inquiry at Box 20013, Kelowna, BC, V1Y 9 Henry 2. And please contact me personally, Darren Howard. Thank you for your time, and please, have hope. There is an end to poverty and high prices.